Hello, Uncle Chunt here, welcome to 2018, and let's talk about what I'm hoping for this year.
Uncle Chunt.
Okay, let's get straight into it. I've had a lot of thoughts for 2017, and I'm just going to forget them altogether because 2017 can go die in a fire. I don't need to remember that year. Only a few good things happened at the end of it, otherwise it was absolutely horrible. 2018 represents a new start for me. New outlook, new positive vibes. Outlook in general seems to be a lot more positive for 2018. It can't get any worse than last year. You know, knock on wood. I don't have any, and that's a rendered wall. And I'm not going to knock on those because they're my precious little things. I want to have more moments like these this year. Now that I'm living in Brisbane, I have the opportunity to go to Brisnova and Gold Coast Nova. So that's where I met Chris Sabat and Sean Schemmel from Dragon Ball Z. That's Peter Cullen, voice actor of Optimus Prime. I really should retell that story one day. It's a moment I'll never forget. And over here you got Austin St. John and Walter Jones from Power Rangers fame. Two of the originals. I've got a couple other photos over there. Met three others, more of the original team. So I'm ticking them off as I go. So things like that happen in the last few years, which I've always had to travel for. But now I live in a place where I can just drive to. I don't have to spend like $1,000 or so just to make a trip out of it. So that's another thing that I'm really looking forward to doing in 2018. Also, the games room. Yeah, I've been harping on about it a lot. It's happening. It's still going to happen. There's just a lot of variables that I need to put into place. It costs, this stuff. Yes, money. To get the shelving and the lighting and just curtains and posters and everything that I want to get. So it's going to be an ongoing thing throughout 2018. So don't expect it anytime soon. I thought I could get it done a lot sooner than I thought, but it's just going to happen as I go. I can still do videos on here, obviously. So I'm taking it upon myself to kind of just work with what I've got. And it'll be an evolution. 2018, it's probably what it's going to be for me. More of an evolution of me, who I am, new starts, new me. I know it's a bit cliche for the new year to say so, but considering everything that's happened, I think I've earned the ability to say that with some validity. Also, my fitness is going really well. I'm dropping weight, which is good, and I'm gaining muscle mass as well. So I'm feeling really good overall, just in general. Everything's going really good, and I'm fitting in the clothes that I haven't fit into for a while. And I'm just feeling good. I can tell in my face, it's a bit more defined than it was last year, especially towards the later part of last year. So that's something that I really can't let go of. I've got a kind of steamroll effect going. I'm really happy with my strength, and just overall vitality is up, which is great. So just in that regards, that's going really well. And as far as collecting, I'm putting that on hold for a lot. As far as statues and figures and stuff go, I think I overdid that over the last few years. No regrets, but it's just there's things I've had to get rid of, and it kind of just to move, and it kind of really put in the check of okay, I think I've got enough. And that's probably going to roll into some of the more modern games. I used to really, really want to just take hold of the collector's editions that come out and the statues that come with them. I was a sucker for those. And the last one I got, which was the Assassin's Creed Origins Gods Edition. That's such a good box, such a good collector's item. But there's so many that I've had to get rid of over the last 6 months where I don't really need them. And I'm probably going to step away from modern games a bit in 2018. And it leads me to my next point of buying more kind of older games in regards to the Xbox in general. I want to backtrack, pick up my classic Xbox collection a bit more. I've come to realize how much I really love that console, and that's another video that I'm going to do this year. I'd really like to do a video showcasing that console and why I like it and what it means to me. I have a bit of history of that console that I think is a bit unique to me, and I'm sure others will be able to appreciate it and relate as well. So that's one thing I want to do this year. Also, staying on Xbox, the 360. As well as the classic Xbox, I've already started to pick up a few really cheap games for both consoles. It's a really good time to be collecting for those two, and there were so many titles that I missed on those two generations. Xbox Classic because I was just too young and didn't have a job and couldn't afford it. Xbox 360, I kind of really stuck to what I knew, traded in a lot of games, which I regret. My collection that I have at the moment is significantly smaller than what it would be if I kept them all. Xbox Classic, I'm picking up the games I had and other games that I never got to experience. So across both platforms, that's kind of what I really want to do. Because they're so cheap now, like I can go back and test those and get a taste for what I missed, and perhaps even like pick up games that are like gems that I just didn't appreciate at the time and never played them because I thought I wouldn't like them. But now I go back and pick them up and have renewed love for these games. That's kind of something I'm really looking forward to. So not only is that going to like really save a bit of money, but I'll still get my game on, new experiences, but appreciate what's come before. Let's face it, like the Xbox One exclusives and stuff has slowed down a lot in 2017. And unless things pick up in 2018, it might just remain the same. I have no inkling at the moment in picking up an Xbox One X, unfortunately. I'm just, I was full ball, really going to get one. I was pretty set on it. I was super hyped. I got my 4K TV when I got here, but I just came to realize, like, I had a good look at 2018's release list, and there wasn't really a lot that I'm super keen on. Obviously, there's games that are going to be announced, but you'd think we have a good idea of what would be coming out next year. So I'm not too hyped on what 2018 has to bring as far as games, particularly on Xbox goes. So that's kind of another reason why I'm like, well, now's a good time to kind of look back and experience old new things. Another thing that's been on my mind recently is music. Those of you who don't know, I used to be pretty heavily into music, as a lot of teenagers were when they grew up. But I had the pleasure and the opportunity, and I guess a goal achieved in my history of not only creating a band, but writing most of the songs for it and playing at my local old town's biggest event, if you want to call it that. And that was all, I don't want to big note myself, but that was all like my energy going into that, writing the songs, putting me into that, and putting the feelers out and pushing the band, doing all the graphic design, doing all the posters, doing the advertising, talking to people, getting all that kind of stuff. And not that I'm saying I want to do all that again, but I'd like to get into writing again, because I went through and listened to some of my old stuff, and not to wank myself, but some of it was actually pretty good. And I'm going to give myself a compliment now and then. I actually liked it, and I'm proud of it, and proud of that achievement. And lately I've just been having that itch of wanting to write more, and I've got some songs in my head that I just like, oh, that could be really cool. The problem is I need to get the equipment, like the recording gear, and set up and repair and restore my previous guitar. And just, that's going to take some time. So that's something else in 2018 that I'd really like to achieve, or at least get the ball rolling on. And probably one of the other more important things, aspects of myself that I really should focus more on in 2018 and just in years to come, is just my artistic side. Like, I've missed a lot of that. I did work at a place and did some private work between, the last 5-6 years. And look, I had a bad experience, and it kind of really tore me out of doing graphic design in general, or just art. And I got frustrated because I never had the right tools to achieve what I really wanted to. I never had the time. I say I never had the time, but like, because I didn't have the tools to do it the way I wanted to, I never made the time to do it, if that makes sense. So, I know I have a talent. I know I can draw, and if I practice, I could do really well. And that's something that I need to pull my finger out and get the professional tools, because I want to have the right tools in order to motivate myself. Once I know that I have the right equipment and the tools, then I'm only limited to me, like wanting to do it. It's not so much the tool is limiting me, which it's been for a while. Because those of you that know me, like, I'm a big DC Comics fan. I've created ideas, projects that I've just never pushed because of the reasons I just explained. But I've had, like, my superhero kind of comic, my Australiana type comic, another kind of post-apocalyptic Australian type comic, and a few others that they're really good concepts, and you know, not to shortchange myself, but they're really good concepts. You know, and those that have looked at it and I've talked to about it, even they're like, oh, that's cool, you know, and they're my friends, and they, you know, not because they're just my friends, I mean, they're pretty honest. If there wasn't a good idea, they'd probably be like, yeah. But they, you know, they're kind of positive about my ideas and enthused. So, you know, I've just been doing a lot of self-reflection. Like during this period, you know, not to go into detail, but I had a really rough period last year, and just moving into state again, and now getting settled. Like, I've had a lot of time to self-reflect on me, what made me, who I am, where I want to go, what I want to do, like what's important in life, goals that I deserve to give myself, just all that kind of stuff. Like, as much as I hated the things that happened last year, I also appreciate them happening, because I learned a lot about myself during that time, and still learning more about myself every week pretty much. So it's been really good. And I don't know if that's just because, well, I can't explain why, but it's just, you know, internal reflection kind of awakens you to a lot of other things, and prioritizes life a bit more. And like, you're only here briefly, not to get all like woo on you, but like, yeah, it's one thing to have a full-time job, working away, like spending all your hours during the day at your job to earn the money to pay the rent and all that kind of stuff. But like, you know, that has to happen. You know, not all of us have the pleasure and luxury of you know, working for ourselves. So, you know, that's cool, and I could not be happy with my current job. Like, it's awesome. I'm so blessed. Management is really cool. The work is great. You know, it's not micromanaged. I feel good and positive, and I trust myself in the job to do it. And there's a lot of support there. So, you know, I'm not poo-pooing over that job at all. But of course, you know, like a lot of us, we have these passions outside that we achieve and want to do, and we kind of means to an end kind of thing. So all this kind of stuff, like, I've always been a creative person, artistic, I guess, in one way or another, whether it's, you know, actual art or graphic design or drawing, sketching, music, you know, just in that kind of stuff. And I've kind of shut myself off from that a lot over the last, you know, 3-4 plus years, or more, and probably 4 or 5 years. I've just kind of shut myself off from it and kind of denied part of myself to me. So it's just like an awakening of sorts, and I'm just super excited. Like, now I've kind of had that conversation with myself, as silly as that sounds, but it's kind of like, oh yeah, like, it's just, I answered something within myself that makes sense, that really clicked. The problem is now I need to kind of go out there and make that happen, get the equipment, put the steps in place to kind of, you know, get what I need, resources, just, you know, and without obviously sacrificing life and living and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to think about. So it's not just gaming anymore. And so I'm hoping to kind of steer that into my channel as well. So not only just talking about comics or gaming in general, but I want to get more in kind of the comics, and maybe if I have the equipment, I can do some live sketching or stream sketching, drawing sessions. If I can get my recording set up for music, upload songs that I write, you know, or do little videos in my room playing the song, you know, and just being creative, you know, it's just dawned on me, like, I could do all this. Like, I have all this. I'm not saying that I'm super talented, but I have all this glimpses and sparks of like talent and abilities that I could just totally embrace and get better at. But I just need to allow myself to do that. So, you know, it's something that I really want to do this year, even if it's just 1 or 2 of these things. Because, you know, I've got to set realistic expectations and goals. Otherwise, if you set them too high, yeah, it's good to have high goals, but then if you set them too high, you set yourself up with disappointment and all that kind of stuff. So you need to be smart about it. Anyway, like, I know I'm ranting on a bit now, but I'm excited about 2018, and hopefully you guys will be there with me along this trip this year, and hope to grow more of a following, more viewership, put my enthusiasm for these things out there, and hopefully people will reciprocate and want more of that. So this channel will be kind of more of a platform for, it's Uncle Chunt, like it's me, it's my channel, and I want to use it as a platform for what I'm doing. So, it's not just I've got to get a video up, about some stupid drama or something that's happening. I want to be able to make it something, put myself out there, and hopefully find those that appreciate it and want it. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. It's a nice rainy evening. It's very humid, if you can't tell. It's a bit warm in Brisbane, raining and humid and stuff, and yeah, but it's good. Life's good. Yeah, it's a bit rocky at the moment, but take the good with the bad. It's only going to get better. So yeah, anyway, that's me, that's my video, that's my kind of message for tonight. And yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys will be there with me. Alright, toodaloos, go get some dinner or breakfast or whatever time it is in your world right now. And subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Uncle